Welcome. I am author D.M. Patterson, and in this video, I'm going to read you something that I just worked on for a working project. And I'm just going to talk a little bit candidly about why I think it's important to write. For those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, yes, I am in a hotel room. I am on a work trip. So I am very sorry for the poor quality of light and sound. This is pretty much all I could do and bring with me with the limited space and time that I have here. But I wanted to make sure I still got a video out and I got some time to write, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This is where I would like to say, if you are not in the right space to hear about something very difficult that I have gone through, which was a miscarriage, and the things that happened after that miscarriage, please skip this video. I do want to keep this channel family friendly, and I don't go into a lot of detail in the poem that I wrote, but it's still a very difficult topic, and I do not mind at all if you have reached this point and you feel like perhaps the next video is best for you. I also want to let you guys know that I will be posting this poem on my blog, but since I only post my blogs on Sundays, if you are watching this today, which is Saturday, then you get a sneak peek and you're going to hear it before anybody else is able to read it. So, yay! Also, if you listen to it and you want to go back and read it, it will be available for you tomorrow. Before I read this poem to you, I will give you a little bit of background. In 2018, I miscarried my baby at 10 weeks. I had to have a procedure to have the baby safely removed. The doctors were unsure of what my body would do if they left it to miscarry naturally. So after the procedure, I had to go in for my 6-week appointments, and that is what this poem is capturing. I began writing about my journey with this a while ago. I have a few poems already written and published on my blog already, and I will put links to those down below so that you can read those if you would like. So this is something that has been in process for a while, and I've been writing here and there. It's not something that I have been writing very diligently about, and really I haven't had a lot of inspiration on it. I don't want to go too much further into this poem and describing it. I just want to read it first because I really want to hear and see if you have any responses just on me reading it without me saying anything else. I think that's really, it's a very interesting and insightful, for authors it's very interesting and insightful to hear responses of what they've written before they add any of their own reasoning why they wrote it and more context and things like that. I feel like I've given you enough context to understand what this poem is. And then I'm going to talk about it a little bit more after I read it to you. And then I just want to talk a little bit more about why I think it's important to write. So here we go. The poem is called My Broken Body. The paper stuck to my sweating bare thigh as I shifted uncomfortably, waiting for the obstetrician. 6 weeks is the magical number for a checkup after a procedure, it seems. 6 weeks after trauma, 6 weeks after surgery, 6 weeks after my life was shattered. 6 weeks is all it takes for the doctor to decide I am fine. She finally opened the door. "How are you?" she iterated as she marched to the wall opposite me, turned on her heel, and placed my folder on the counter. I am still in pain. My voice shook. My heart raced. The paper beneath me crackled loudly, announcing how tightly I gripped the examination table. Her head bent and her pen moved, but nothing else, as though an artificial form had rammed the real woman in a closet in hopes to parade as one. She fired off the usual questions. "Are you still taking medicine? What have you tried? What issues are you having? My voice wavered as I rallied my answers. I'm still taking the pain medicine, but it isn't working. I don't know what to try. I was hoping you could tell me. My issue is, I'm still in pain. She kept writing, head bent, eyes on my file, heels touching the wall, her movement as stiff and efficient as a machine. I do not remember much about her exact questions, or how I fumbled my way through. Eventually, her pen rested on my file, and she took steps towards me. I laid back, heels in the stirrups, vulnerable and broken, as she inserted her sharp tools and examined and prodded. It looks great, she reported, as she marched back to the corner of the room farthest from me, heels against the wall. You are ready to try again. My heart raced, my head swam, and my body sagged with the pain her sharp tools and prodding fingers produced. I'm still in pain, I mumbled. Keep taking the pain medication. You are free to try again as soon as the pain goes away. I slammed my eyes against tears. I could not cry in front of her. I knew better than that. But what is causing the pain? Perhaps Geppetto had also created a sister who never wanted to be real. She wanted to remain rigid and wooden, and her nose would reveal her indifference. Everything looks fine, she repeated, her heels against the wall, her spine straight, her mouth stiff, her eyes empty. The paper stuck to my sweating legs and backside. The thin white blanket on my lap provided no comfort. 6 weeks is a magical number after a procedure, but why didn't it work for me? My throat was closing. The air was too heavy. One more question. I had to ask. What if this pain is why I lost the baby? Was all I could manage, but the rest hung in the air. I do not want to lose another one. Lay back again, she ordered, coming towards me again with rigid efficiency. She worked her hands around my stomach and hips, pushing and manipulating excruciating pain from my broken body. I did my best to explain what her actions did to my broken body. Sweat slid into my eyes as I forced myself to sit up. My eyes stung with salt, with pain, with tears that could no longer be held. Your uterus looks fine. You seem to be a little sore. Keep taking the pain meds and rest. You are free to try again. Beneath her paces back to the corner of the room, her heels pressed against the wall, the farthest corner away from me. The floor cracked. The weight of the air, the weight of my sweat, the weight of my pain, the weight of her words became too much for the room. And as I desperately dragged my broken body to the edge of the gap between us, as my voice failed to sound the questions, as I clumsily attempted a step towards hope, the floor collapsed. As the shards cut me, as my body tumbled into darkness, I thrust a hand towards her. As the statue stands motionless against the tide of tragedy, so her marble eyes would not behold, nor her stone ears discern, my desperate screams. You have the ability to press pause and think about that for a minute if you'd like, or rewind it and listen to it again. Or, like I said, it's going to be posted on my blog tomorrow if you would like to read it again. Please keep in mind this is a work in progress, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. What I was trying to convey with that poem, and what happened when I went back for my 6-week checkup. Now that I'm, looking back and remembering this, it was the first of many appointments where I did not get answers, and I felt that gap forming between me and the possibility of getting hope, getting answers, and feeling better. Now, before I go too much further, I want to make sure that you understand this is not a video about trashing doctors, and I have found a wonderful team at VCU. I have specialists who are on my side, and I do have a primary care physician who is also wonderful and on my side. This is not a doctor bashing video, and I would very much appreciate you respecting the fact that I do not want to have doctors bashed. It is unfortunate that the journey that I am on did start out very roughly because there was a doctor who did not listen to me. And I do admit, and I will say, that I think that my health issues got far worse because there was a long gap between me trying to get answers from them and then moving over to VCU. But there are wonderful doctors out there, and if you take anything from this, it is my encouragement to say, if you're not finding the answers where you are, then look elsewhere, get second opinions, and keep going. Be an advocate for yourself, and you will find someone who is going to help you. But one of the things I wanted to candidly talk about was how important I think writing is. And as I go through this journey of writing about something that was very difficult for my life, this is why I say in some of my videos, you need to write for yourself. Make yourself the most important reason why you're writing whatever it is in your heart that needs to be written. You are the only one that matters. Forget about what other people might think. Set aside the fear that no one else will read it. Just set all of it aside. Set all of the fear, set all of the criticism, set all of the wondering about how things are going to turn out. Set it aside. Make yourself the most important reason why you're on this journey of writing. Sometimes you write to find healing. Sometimes you write just to get your story out and to know that it's out there. Whatever the reason is, keep yourself number one. I personally don't know what this book is going to look like when I finish it. I don't know who's going to read it. I don't know if it's ever going to help anyone. But I know this is the kind of book that's going to help me. And I need to be number one as I'm writing this. Get it out there. Sit down and write it. Share it if you want. Don't share it if you don't want to. That's fine. But get it out. It's important. If it's nagging at you to be written, there's a reason. Get it out. I'm cheering for you. I want you to do this. Well, this was a very short and candid video with poor quality all around. Hopefully it's not too awful and you were able to make it through to the end. In case you're wondering, yes, I'm still working on my Cambodia project. I have this book and another book with me. So that is still absolutely top on my list of projects, and I've done a lot of reading. I do want to do another video soon to let you know a little bit more of the information that I found out through the reading that I've done. But this is something I'm working on too, along with many other projects, because I'm one of those authors that has many projects going on at once. I decided to make this video a little bit more vulnerable, open, and candid, and to read something to you that I've worked on. I'd love to hear your feedback, and again, if you are watching this on Saturday, you'll be able to read this poem on my blog on Sunday. And now, go write.